I took this business from a standing start, a brand new, fresh email marketing platform with 0 subscribers, and I brought in the first 6 figures in sales in a matter of weeks using one traffic method to bring in those subscribers. And I still use it today, every single day. If you're a coach or an expert, this is better than advertising. It's faster than a YouTube or an Instagram, and it's perfect for taking you from unknown to the #1 authority or expert in your topic. Bonjour, bonjour! Happy Email Marketing Wednesday! How the hell are you? Here's a really crazy thing, by the way. Only a quarter of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the channel. Can you believe it? That means about 75% of you aren't. So if you hit subscribe to the Email Marketing Show, that tells me that you like what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing more and more and more of it and make it better and better and better. And when you hit subscribe, I'd also make sure that my future videos and my future content show up in your newsfeed for you to watch for free. Literally, hitting subscribe is a small thing that you can do, and it'll really help me out. So thank you so much for subscribing. I really, really appreciate you. There are 3 psychological tricks that you can use to get more people to buy from your emails. And when I applied these 3 techniques, I increased the sales of one of my offers by 18 times. Can you even imagine that? And I give you the whole blueprint for it inside of my email marketing sorted course. It's over 5 modules. It's 5 modules. And I lay out the whole thing for you. And it's yours completely free for tuning into the show. Just go to emailmarketingsorted.com or go to the link that's in the description, emailmarketingsorted.com. Okay, so let's get into today's episode. And this is I'm a bit nervous about this one because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about talking about this. So, I want you to know, first of all, that when all of this happened, when I discovered this, I was desperate. I was so at the end of everything. And it was that desperation. It was the fact that this was my final chance before I lost everything. That's how I came up with this particular way of building such a highly engaged email list and how it works so quickly and how I did it for free because I had to. It had to be free and it had to be quick. So it was around 2019 and I'm sitting at my little dining table in my lounge in floods of tears. My head is in my hands, my laptop lid is closed, and I'm just inconsolable. I feel like an epic failure because everything around me is showing me evidence that I've just failed. I'm no good at this. Up until that point, I'd spent 5 solid years working. And when I say working, I was traveling the world. I was doing after-dinner entertainment for corporations and on luxury cruise ships, 7-star cruise ships and this kind of thing, with an after-dinner comedy show where I combined psychology, body language, statistics, and comedy to make it look like I could read people's minds. Really good fun, traveled the world doing it. But I had a reason for doing that, and that was I wanted to build up a savings pot. So I was willing to sacrifice, my relationships with people. I missed out on family birthdays, literally my mum's birthday. I missed out on close family members' funerals. I was even in the middle of the ocean on Christmas Day and on New Year multiple times, and I literally spent all this time alone. I was alone on Christmas Day, surrounded by lovely, jolly crew members on cruise ships who were really well-meaning, but it wasn't my family. It was very lonely waking up on Christmas Day, and I would never want to do that again. And I did all of that and worked really, really hard, doing 3 shows a week, traveling literally all over Asia, up and down the US, around Europe, all over the world. And I did that for 5 years to build up a savings pot. And I built up this great savings pot, and I decided that I needed to ease off all this traveling. And I took those savings and I put them into a software startup with a friend. We had offices, we had 2 full-time members of staff, we had a video studio, we had 2 overseas VAs. We were going out there, we're hitting the pavement, selling, developing, figuring out how to start a software business. And we were our own investors. I'd put all of my own savings into that. And of course, during all of that time, I hadn't been able to pay myself. And it was, for over a year, I didn't pay myself anything. I was literally depleting my savings and living as lean as I possibly can. And when I'm sat at that dining table with my head against my closed laptop lid in floods of tears, I was there because I was out of money. We'd run out. It was the beginning of October. I had to sit down on a Monday morning around the meeting table in our office with these two staff members who were relying on me to pay their wages, which allowed them to pay their mortgages and put into their retirement funds, to feed their families, their kids and their grandkids. And I had to say to them, Colin, Grace, I don't think I'm going to be able to pay you at the end of the month. And I was advised not to tell them this because it would reduce their motivation and they might not show up. But I just couldn't allow these people to work for me and put their time in and give me their side of the bargain when I knew it was very unlikely that I was going to be able to fulfill my part of the agreement at the end of the month. I wasn't comfortable with that. And I even said, if you feel like you can't work for the rest of this month, then you don't have to. For some crazy reason, these two people believed in me and decided to stick around. And I remember I just completely, very unprofessionally broke down in front of the staff because I felt like an utter failure. I was really, really broken. I had given it my all, done things that made me uncomfortable, like going out and selling or just trying to figure all of this stuff out. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, we're already facing the fact that we're probably going to be out of business by the end of this month, like by the end of that October. I then found out that my accountants at the time had messed up one of our taxes, and the tax man was demanding around $50,000. So now it's just impossible. It certainly looked impossible. And it was in that moment that of basically having lost everything that I somehow, not even suddenly, it sort of emerged this level of clarity. And that clarity was, you don't need to create an audience. That's expensive. That is slow. It's lots of figuring things out. There's so many variables in creating an audience. I mean, basically creating an audience is like trying to create and invent a new element on the periodic table. What we need to do instead is assemble an audience. And it was this approach to assembling an audience that took me literally from the edge of bankruptcy to building an email list of 5,000 people in a brand new email account and bringing in coaching clients, building a membership of people who paid me every single month, so we were never starting any month on zero again, and selling online courses. This technique brought me in multiple six figures and it didn't cost a penny. So what is it? And I thought it was important. I hope you don't mind me sharing the background story of this. I know some people will have skipped that because it's not really their thing, but I wanted you to see where this came from. The number one rule of audience building is that your audience is already assembled somewhere by someone. When I'm doing coaching, when I'm sharing inside of my Director's Room Mastermind group, I will say this over and over again. Your audience has already been assembled somewhere by someone else, and all you need to do is get in front of those people. That's what you need to do. You need to get in front of those people, and the way you do that is by being valuable, by actually being valuable, not by hustling, not by pushing. You literally just have to be valuable to that group of people. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to map out interests and topics and themes that are related to the things that you do. A few techniques for that. The first is called chunking up. And this is where you ask yourself, what is the biggest space that your offer belongs to? So for example, if you coach people in improving their running and getting them their best PBs, you would chunk up to fitness because you are within a niche of fitness. So you're going to write down what is the niche, what is the market that you actually belong within? What's the macro category? You're going to chunk up. That's the first thing. The second thing you're going to do is look at what I call sequential markets. And that is literally moving across the chain of someone's chronological journey through what it is that you do. Let me sort of get specific about that. So what happens before what you do and after what you do? So if you coach people on email marketing like I do, before email marketing is traffic methods, right? So I would look for groups that are teaching traffic methods. And after email marketing is offers. So I look for people who teach different types of offer, how to run a coaching program, how to have a membership, all these these kind of things. Or if, like one of our clients, Karishma, you teach people how to get a promotion, well, before that is how do you find the right jobs to apply to in the first place? And after that, in chronology, is what happens after the promotion is that you need to understand the skills of being a new manager. They will be great pools for her to dig into. So when you've done that and you've done a lot of deep work on that, you're going to have you're going to have your macro category, you're going to have chunked up, and you're going to have your sequential markets. And the good thing about sequential markets is they're non-competitive. And honestly, I would write down the names of a bunch of people who are teaching similar things to you, because I don't believe in competition. I do a lot of great work with other brilliant people who are also teaching elements of email marketing or have tools around email marketing. I don't really believe in competition. I believe people are going to buy stuff from each of us anyway. And if someone's going to buy your thing, they may as well buy it through one of your competitors where the competitor might get a kickback on it, right? So now you've got a list of things. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find groups that are serving these people. So where are your audience hanging out? And literally grab your iPad, grab a piece of paper, open up a document, write down where are they hanging up. Where they're hanging up, where they're hanging out. Are they in online groups? So which online groups are they in? Are they in school groups? Are they on Reddit? Are they on Facebook groups? So write all those places and just start searching. Start going on to ChatGPT and go to Perplexity and ask groups, Facebook groups for, and then your market. And then all the different things that you've just written down in chunking up and sequential markets. Write them. You will find more and more and more of them. And as well as that, I want you to start looking at who has got a paid community of your ideal clients. Once you know those two groups of people, which are free groups where people join for free, and paid communities of your ideal people, what you're now going to do is you're going to go into those groups and you are going to offer value. You're going to be value to those people. You're going to be valuable to them. You're going to go in there and share knowledge. You're going to, if the group allows you to put little video tips in, do that. Contact the group owner and ask, can I do a training for the group? Do you want to promote this training that I'm already doing? Start showing up and giving value, but not in the sort of sneaky way where you're sort of inadvertently sidestepping, like sort of doing half promotions. Literally show up and give value by answering people's questions. The big mistake people make with these groups is they start putting posts in it. We say it all the time in our free community, the Email Marketing Show community on Facebook, which I know many of you are members of. If you're not already, by the way, go to the Email Marketing Show community on Facebook. And when you do that, you'll see that there are some people who go in there and they post these long, valuable Facebook wall posts, right? These group posts, and they get almost no interaction because not only is that a little bit forthright, is it a little bit too aggressive, it's not the best way of actually showing you're valuable. Also, writing these big valuable posts is a lot of work for you. You have to come up with the post, write the post, come up with a graphic that's going to like an image or something, or a GIF or a video that's going to get attention. And even though it's a lot more work, it is the least impactful. What you're much better to do is go through your groups on a cycle and just search for people who are asking questions about your topic. So if you help people with search engine optimization and you're in a whole bunch of digital marketing groups, you just pop into these groups once a week on a little cycle and look for people who are asking questions around search engine optimization, and you comment. You comment with helpful stuff and you don't put a call to action. What quickly starts to happen is very, very quickly people realize you're the person. You're the go-to person in this whole thing. And you start offering trainings in these groups. And that's where you start mentioning your lead magnets. You offer to do free trainings in the paid and free communities. I've done this in masterminds, in memberships, in coaching programs, in free groups, in paid groups. And there are hundreds of training videos of me teaching various specific techniques around email marketing in lots of different groups, which has an audience I know want help with their email marketing. You can do exactly this. And it's all of it. And at the end of each of those trainings, you don't do a big sales pitch. You just say, hey, I've got this cool free resource. And that free resource, of course, is your landing page and your amazing new lead magnet. So now what you've got is a complete list building system, right? You've got all these pieces in place. And this is so impactful. When you build your list in this way, the conversions are so much higher because when they come into you, they already see see you as the guru, as the thought leader in your space. They're not cold like they are off ads, and it's fast because these people who run the groups are always looking for ways of adding more value to their audience. And of course, it's free. It costs you nothing but just having a daily routine of going through and cycling through the different groups that you're a member of and finding more groups. And of course, don't forget to ask the group member, or the group leader, I should say, for recommendations of other groups they're aware of that they think you should go and do a training into. That always leads to some really good warm introductions and helps you really amplify that network of content that you're doing. So get out there in front of other people's groups. They might have a podcast, they might have a YouTube channel. Look at where people are already assembling the perfect clients for you and get in front of them across multiple platforms. Now, of course, you're going to have this complete list building system. There is something that has replaced lead magnets for coaches. So go and check out this video where I show you the full thing.